Good evening, gamers. It is Cherry Controller, and in today's episode we are going to be hopping onto something that I mentioned last episode. We're going to begin our episode actually in the Nether. If you joined us from last episode, absolutely wicked. You may remember me ending the episode saying that we're going to be making a library. Now, something that I really want this library to have is blue wood. I think it's about time that we had it, and it would look really mystical in a library. I feel they just go hand in hand. So that is definitely something that is on our plate today, and so we're going to go ahead and start our episode in the Nether. I had to do a few things in there, and the days are ticking over to 500. I'm super excited to hit day 500. That's kind of a bit of a milestone, which yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to, and we have yet to die in this world. Who knows, maybe we'll die in the Nether today. Touch wood. Let's go ahead and get into today's episode. Thank you very much for joining. Maybe consider subscribing and liking if you enjoy the video. Yeah, let's go ahead and hop in. As mentioned, we will be starting our episode here in the Nether, bouncing around and yeah, hopefully successfully getting some blue wood. You can see the warped biome just straight off ahead of us. However, I'm not going to be too brazen and run ahead and just go and grab some right now. I do actually want to build this corridor a little bit further along. We were heading on over to the warped biome that we stumbled across a few episodes ago now. I'm not entirely sure which episode it was that we stumbled upon this, but my goal is to get a warped wood supply set up in the overworld before day 500. So that gives me 6 days to extend my corridor, grab the wood, and find a place back at base to set it up. Ooh, I think we've got this. This corridor took me quite a while to build, but I built pretty fast in the Nether, considering as I've done this a lot. So I was done in plenty of time. This has been such a chaotic start to the day. Holy crap. I've already made it to the blue zone, so I can grab everything that I need. So yeah, I'm gonna go and get a fresh breath of overworld air, and we'll come back to the Nether when my heart's not beating as fast. Building with ghasts randomly spawning around you and glass being one of those main building blocks is like such an intense experience. I'm so curious to know how many of you guys build in the Nether too. I really am. So while I was risking my first death in the Nether, I actually realised that I don't have a place to put this farm. I haven't actually planned anywhere that I want to build a warped forest. Though saying this, I actually realised that I kind of had the perfect place in mind, and I cannot wait to share with you guys. I should really start coming up with a plan for these episodes, like more of a plan. Like I have like a little bit of a plan, but I should probably have a goal. I should probably set, people like that sort of stuff, right? Let me know in the comments if I'm right about that, but I think I might. So with the perfect place in mind to go ahead and start our new warped Nylium farm, I ran on down to the cave in hopes that this would work and really pan out how it does in my mind down here. After relaxing down here in the cave, picking a place for our warped farm, the moment for calm is over. As I've got to go back into the Nether, and I need to get A, some more netherrack, and B, I'm determined to build further into the blue zone. Or should I call it the warped forest? I have a plan, guys. I have a plan for this warped forest. I want to build something cool in it. This is the corridor that I've like built today. Like I literally built this within like, I don't know, an hour, less than 40 minutes. But yeah, I built this today. So yeah, it only took me about 2 Minecraft days to bash out this corridor, which I'm pretty chuffed with too. I feel like it's so rare to see players just run through the Nether without anything or without a plan or without a build. Either way, I'm really curious to know what your Nether experience is and how you handle it. Yeah, let me know in the comments what your Nether adventure be like. I'm very curious to know how other people tackle this world and tackle this part of Minecraft, because I feel like everybody does it a little bit different, but a lot of people do seem to stick for the roof, highway roof. That seems to be a favoured method of a lot of Minecraft players. my god, okay. Oh. I've pissed them all off. I've made them all mad, guys. There's not a single ender I haven't made mad. Guys. Ooh. What is he doing? Get out. Oh, he's kind of cute though. Nightmares. That was intense. So I managed to gather myself some warped wood, and then I got myself out of the Nether to go ahead and then yeah, go down to our cave, set this all up, and yeah guys, we can then go ahead and, oh, that's a very cool tree. So we can have a bit of a warped farm growing in the cave, which sounds pretty cool to me. Ooh, I don't want to scrap him. It's not what I want. Okay. Whew. If it wasn't for me spending some enchantments, we would still be on level 32, which is pretty sick, guys. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty chuffed about this at the minute. I'm going to go ahead and leave with what I've got at the minute, because those enders were just a little bit too much. I'm going to go ahead and catch back at the base. And, yeah, guys, we can go and start this warped farm to then begin my library. Okay, dude, so we left this cave unfinished. But with plenty of netherrack and a click of my fingers, we shall have a netherrack room. I think this is going to look really cool down here in the cave. Yeah, we need to go ahead and run along to our skeleton farm and go and get some bones for some bone meal. With the forbidden warp block in hand, we have actually made it to 500 days, guys. We've hit 500 days survived on our little Minecraft world. That is absolutely crazy. I'm super gassed about that, and yeah, we've got some cool stuff in the works. I feel like it's pretty cool to have a little blue wood farm down here in the cave base by day 500, and I look forward to rolling over and starting to build our library into the rest of the days. This is super cool. Yeah, I wonder where it will take us, guys. It's kind of interesting and kind of exciting. The sounds, the colours, everything about this is such a chill place to be, especially when it's not in the Nether. Making this biome back home is pretty calm. While it definitely is the calmest biome in the Nether, it's still not exactly peaceful. So this is looking pretty good. We'll come back to this when I need to, but for the minute I've got like 2 stacks of this, maybe just a little bit more. I think I've got a little bit more in a chest. Oh, and we've also got our chest absolutely stacked with wart block too. So with all of these materials, the next thing to do is to go ahead and get one more material that we think is going to blend well with these blue blocks, and then we're going to go ahead and start planning and making our library. Oh my god, that was so intense. Holy crap, not expecting that. Alright, back here at base. So I've gone and collected myself some dark oak wood because I think that's going to look really good on the outside of this build. And the other thing that I want for the outside of this build, I think, is bricks. I might change my mind on this, but we're going to go ahead and collect a load of bricks. Put a couple of days into gathering some of those up. As I don't know, I just have a feeling that they might look really good with this build. So we're going to plod along and see if this works. Now we've got 2 places where we could pop this library. So we can either pop it over here with our little portal village, or we can pop it over here sort of by our cave house next to the armadillo pen. On Bedrock we have something called a village cap, which means that we have a population of the village that will reach a limit. So we have to be careful not to hit that limit. Okay, so let's move on to building this library. I don't want it to be too blue on the outside. I want it to be pretty blue on the interior, but I want the exterior to actually be quite plain. I also need to flatten out some ground and then source the plain natural building blocks I'm thinking of. I'm pretty sure I want dark oak, bricks, and maybe some deep slate for the roof just to blend it in with the rest of the builds on the portal island. While I will change up some of the roofs eventually, right now I want them to be all pretty unison and they're all some form of deep slate. So we're going to go ahead and pick that for our roof block, I think. While we get to flattening out this ground and building our library, some of the things that I want to chat about is I actually want to go and have a bit of a natter about the history of the Nether. I found out some really cool things. I really enjoyed our Nether episode today. I really enjoyed running around in the Nether, and while I was running around, I was kind of thinking about just some of the history of the Nether, and I actually went ahead and found a few facts that I wanted to share with you guys while we were getting to building this thing that I thought were really cool. So some of the history facts that I've got about the Nether and its additions. So the Nether wasn't actually part of the first release of the game. It was added as part of a Java Halloween edition, something called maps, which we no longer have, but was a thing back when the game was very first released on Java. And the Nether itself was actually inspired by a novel series called The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. And the whole theory of the Nether and the dimensions and how you travel kind of like further in the Nether than you do in the overworld was actually from that. So I think that's pretty cool, and if you want to check that out, I highly recommend it. This then brings me on to my next fact, which was that the name the Nether wasn't actually the only choice for the name. The Slip and the Nexus were actually another 2 choices for the names, and I personally really love the Slip. I think that's so cool, but it was decided that it wasn't Nethery enough, and so the Nether was born. The Nexus is also cool, but I feel it's a little bit too sci-fi-ish, and the Slip is very Stranger Things-esque, which I really enjoy. Something that I thought was an interesting little fact was that Netherwart has pretty much always been in the game, so I think that's kind of cool. I also found that Netherwart in one of the early editions of Minecraft on Java could actually be used to breed chickens, which I think is a shame that is no longer the case. Netherwart is like such a useful thing, and to feed it to a chicken to get it to procreate sounds fantastic. It sounds very needless, and I like that. Obviously, with Netherwart always being a factor within the game, that instantly brought me to my next question and next bit of history that I actually found out was about potions. And potions were actually first introduced to the game, and they were actually brewed in cauldrons. by combining ingredients together, which I thought was pretty cool, but I can totally see why they went for the brewing stands, because the cauldrons do not come with a GUI, which means that's really confusing. And this also was very pretty quickly changed, so they didn't use cauldrons for long. By the second official beta release of the game, they would change to brewing stands. Which method do you think you'd prefer? Don't get me wrong, I love the brewing stands as they are so functional, but throwing some stuff in a cauldron just seems right. But maybe that's just me. The making of potions originally was actually meant to be procedural and randomized per seed. So apparently the recipes for brewing potions were meant to be different within each world you created. How crazy is that? Imagine having to go out and find a recipe to then find and gather the materials needed to make that recipe, only just for one particular potion, and then to do this in every single world and not have a set recipe. I think that's so cool, but it's also a lot more work. What do you guys think about that? Do you like the original way that they first decided of finding recipes, or do you think that's a little bit too much and prefer it for how it is now? I think I'm thankful for how it is now, but there's a nice touch to running around and the recipes changing with each seed. That's very interesting, almost like trades with villagers. And something else that I thought was interesting was that potions of slow falling weren't actually added until 1.13 on the Java edition, so July 2018, which is crazy. And it made it to Bedrock August 2018 on the 1.60 release, which was a major update and was called the Aquatic Update. I think this is interesting as it really puts into perspective just how quickly the devs are moving now and back then on both versions of the game too. I feel like slow falling potions are something that I always have remembered having, but it's so crazy to think that they were actually only added to the game in 2018. I feel like they're an old friend, but I now realise it's more like one of those parasites off Rick and Morty. It's only been in the game for it's still 6 years. And the realisation that 2018 has been 6 years is absolutely insane, and I can't wait to see what happens in another 6 years of the game. So I've added some decorations outside, added some paths. The last part of the interiors to finish are the furnishings and the villagers. I am dreading this part as I've done a lot of transporting villagers, so I'll do that off camera between episodes. I've already got quite a few apps moving villagers, so if you're interested you can go and check out either one of these episodes for that. We will also need to give them workstations, those being lecterns, which means we're going to need bookcases. So I need to go to the cow farm and get myself some leather. Alright, Houston, we have a problem. I mean, technically we don't have a problem. Technically, we have everything we need. This is insane. How did you even get over here? They must be like climbing on top of each other and making their way over. Because there's no way he should be able to be on this side. Okay, well, let's grab some leather while we're here. Why are they all around this side? Why is this the preferred place to be for cows? I suppose because there's probably like some form of exit. Do you reckon they drown here? Nah. Speaking of cows, while we're here, halfway through recording this episode, Minecraft actually dropped their Bundles of Bravery update, which is super cool, and I'm super excited to go ahead and check that out. So I really want to do that. We're going to do that now pretty much. They changed the method for making bundles. It used to be a case of we were going to go and have to hunt out some rabbit hides and get 4 rabbit hides, but they have changed it so that it is 1 leather and 1 piece of string. They wanted it to be more accessible to players early on, and boy is it that. Let's go ahead and make some bundles and then dye them because I'm so excited for that. I think that's going to be great. So the other thing that we need, thanks to Minecraft, is now just string. I really enjoy how easy these bundles are to make. I thought that was a really cool shout, and I believe there's also a video chatting about it, about their reasoning to do this. The bundle, really easy to craft, is just such a nice shout from the devs, especially with the way a lot of games go these days. A lot of them it's either a hard grind to get a lot of stuff or pay to play even, and so I think that's a nice little touch, I can't lie. Guys, that is class. And then we can go ahead and dye this bad boy too. Sick. So you can put a bundle in a bundle and then it fills up a little bit. Alright, and then you can take them out by either picking up the bundle and dropping things out of it that way. Oh, and a blue one. That's sick. That is so cool. So we've got a blue bundle with some blue wood in it, and we've got a purple bundle with nothing in it. That is so sick. And I can make a few more. I've got bundles full of bundles, guys. So there we have one full bundle And then we have a bundle with some bundles in it, which I love. We've got a purple one, a red one, and a pink one, well, a magenta one. Now we know that we can dye the dog armor through the cauldron. I am curious to know whether this is something that we can dunk in the cauldron too. So let's run on over back to our sheep pen and find out if this is the case. So if I go ahead and chuck some water in there, let's just take some magenta dye and pop that in there. Okay, so I've got one bundle and, oh, I can't dip it. Well, it was worth the try. Not that I'm bothered by that. I was just curious to know whether that was a possibility, and it was not. They may change that though, as bundles are super new. And they do seem to be using the cauldrons for dyeing more and more these days, which I really enjoy, because that's kind of quite an old school thing on Bedrock, and I like that that's becoming a bit more of a modern day used technique again. So that's a nice touch. Guys, this is sick. So we have got a bunch of bundles. This Bundles of Bravery update is pretty sweet. I'm a big fan of it. Oh, guys, love it. Speaking of Bundles of Bravery, we have been in the Nether, we have done building, we have crafted new items entirely to the game, and I'm feeling, yeah, pretty well rounded from this episode. I feel like we've done a lot today, so I'm super gassed about that. Thank you very much for joining, guys. I really appreciate everybody that has made it this far through the video. If you're looking for more Cherry Controller, you can go ahead and check out more of the channel. We've got a little Minecraft, and I've also got games that are also not Minecraft, so yeah, if any of that interests you, go ahead and check it out. If you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and check out the playlist linked at the end. Yeah, for more of it. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Discord, you can find me on Twitch. I do a little bit of live recording and streamings here and there, hopping more on that because I do enjoy the Twitch side of things. So make sure to check me out there if you haven't. But for now, guys, this has been Cherry Controller. Thank you very much for joining. I've had a thrilling episode today, and we are out.